There we go. Now everything is coming through. Let me make sure this comes through. Boom, done. All right. What was I saying? Oh yeah, it's and days, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, whatever you want to identify yourself as. I don't really care, but it is what it is. We live in 2025. So I just got my chow. So I'm going to be eating and doing this at the same time. That's right. That's right. That's what's happening tonight. Let's see. Hopefully everybody's doing good. Still waiting for a couple peeps to jump on. Let me actually send out this really quick. Let me do that. And then I also got this really quick too. Oh yeah. All right, so I don't know if you guys know this or not, but when I go to Chick-fil-A, I like all the Chick-fil-A sauce. All of it. That's right. It's an addiction. Right? Isn't that right, Kita? Isn't that right? Let's see if I can get her to come up here. Come on. Come on. Come here. Come on. Kita, Kita. Come on. There we go. There we go. Oh, there she comes. Yeah. That's my girl right there. You guys don't know, I do have 4 dogs. So that's a thing. Anyways, while we're waiting for a couple of these other guys, if you notice, the stream name is still the same for right now. It is in the process of getting changed. A lot of things are actually going to get moved around. If you notice, my logo on here is different than usual as well, and that is just for this one podcast episode. I don't know. What? Don't look at me like that. That's my fry. So yeah, things are going to get moved done. Daddy Bro's not going to be here today. He's got tonight, I should say. He's got some family stuff he's tending to. Oh, Lord. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. It shows right there that you guys can, so we're good. All right. This laptop is acting cray-cray right now. There we go. I had to put that in there just so people can interact with me, you know? All them questions. All them questions. I gotta fix that. Everything. Damn laptop. Any hoots. So what are we gonna talk about right now? Right now, has anybody? I've only got one person in here. Got one person that's in here. Do you watch the news? I'm just curious. I don't care if you lean left or right. It doesn't matter to me. Not my pig, not my farm. But I will say that stuff that's going on, I'm happy with it. What do you want? Okay. Let's see if I can get her to come up here again. There you go. She got it that time. These are my chicken nuggets. You're gonna leave my chicken nuggets alone. No, nothing. Nope. Nobody's doing anything. Nobody's talking about nothing. This stupid. I swear to God, I'm about to restart this laptop. That's what's about to happen. Actually, I might just. Don't be trying to take my chicken nuggets. Okay. What? I think she wants a chicken nugget. Waiting for more people to get in here. It's taking forever. I swear. For some military veterans, if yeah, I'd be late to their own damn funeral. do is I could just turn on the damn game and talk while doing a game, you know? Talk about news and stuff. Like, for instance, just turn on like Among Us or something. Ah, there we go. Finally.
I know, right? Kids have been crazy.
I hear that.
Fix my.
I thought I was going to have to sit here and do it all by myself.
Uh,
Oh,
let's see.
I was like, this is going to be really entertaining. I'm just going to be talking to my damn self.
Let's see. There we go.
But
Some
Scotty,
nautical.
there you go. Scott has, or I'm sorry, Daddy Bro's got family stuff going on.
Oh, okay. Are we live already?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So I own all the Twilight stuff now already. Not all the hard copy, all the Foundry stuff, and all the supplements that they make.
Good Lord.
Go figure.
Right?
Oh, and I have Patreon accounts for maps for Twilight too. Sorry. Post-apocalyptic maps.
I'm just saying, when your wife murders you.
That's right. I took on a new role, got a little raise, so
Yeah. Yep.
the
Oh,
raise went
you
straight into
did?
Patreon. Yeah, went straight onto Patreon. Just kidding. No, it's not that bad, but anyways, I have been working on the Foundry account because I don't know if you've gone through and like created a character yet or not, but it is fascinating. I've
No,
never played it before. Like I've just never played that style, like the life path style or whatever. The other one I'm really interested in is Traveler, but they don't have. It's 100% gonna have to be in person because there's no good Foundry. They have like an official Foundry page, but it was launched in July and nobody's worked on it. Traveler or not Traveler, but Twilight 2000 though, they have a very substantial like Facebook, like everything's already in the compendiums and all that stuff. You have to buy it through them. So you buy their Foundry version of all the information, and it automatically puts it all into the. So you buy the book, the original book. You get the core, and then after you get the core, you get their other. I think they have three. So there's four total right now. Four books total that are official. Three of them are what do they call it? Not supplements, but expansions. And so when you buy them, it automatically puts all the expansion material into their compendium. But I don't know if I can share my screen or not.
You can.
but I have just in supplemental weapons alone, I've got, let's see, 26 folders,
Oh, jeez.
26 PDFs, and just additional weapons. And I have like extra careers, and I have vehicles, and I've got loot. And I haven't found one that teaches you how to like jar and preserve stuff in game. So, anyways, you know me.
Yep. Yep.
I can never dip my toes in.
No, you just jump right in. Cannonball.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time. It's just straight cannonball. There's no like it doesn't matter if it's 3 feet or not, I'm diving in.
Yeah, exactly. No lifeguard, no problem.
I'll flip back to the top eventually.
Mm-hmm.
You hit your head hard enough, you'll flip back to the top.
Right.
You just got to make sure that whatever you're wearing has like some type, like if you're gonna jump in, just get like a good like bubble of air in your shirt first, so it like flips you over in case you pass out.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, it's really interesting though because it's so random.
So
You
I thought we were doing the life path like in person.
We will, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've just playing around with it because I was like, well, because I've got a group of people that have been playing D&D on Friday, and they're just people like way before we even started doing this stuff that I've just been playing with. I met them through Start Playing, and sometimes the DM or whatever can't do anything. So I was like, well, like he has to travel, or he has something going on or whatever. And so I was like, well, I can like I've ran a couple of D&D games before, but I was like, well, let me like dive into this and figure it out a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it is extremely interesting, like the life path process, like how you go through it, and like the whole. You start off at 18, and you choose a career path. And what I've been doing, it doesn't tell you to do this, but you either choose military or civilian. And I've just been rolling a D2, so I'm letting it flip a coin for me and decide like which way I go. So it's all randomized. And then once it
Right.
does that, you can choose like military careers or civilian careers. And you can either go into like depending on what your attributes end up being, because you have to roll your attributes and all that stuff.
Right.
So, but it's a simple. You roll 2d6s, and whatever the number that you get is what you add to your attributes that you have. So you have 4 attributes: strength, agility, intelligence, and dexterity, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so, anyways, no, it's not dexterity because it's a charisma. It's not charisma though. It's what do they call it? Anyways, it's like charisma based. So, um, empathy. That's what it is. So it's like it's
Yeah.
strength, uh, agility, uh, strength, agility, intelligence, and empathy. And so if you get 5 out of the 2d6s that you roll or whatever, then you literally just add those 5 points around. But there's certain jobs that you can't get unless you have like, because it's a F through A system. So
Right.
everybody starts at C with all of your attributes. You start at C. And then from there, you can put points in and make your attributes go up to a B or an A or whatever, depending on how many points you get.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to be like in special forces, special operations in the military, you have to serve a term in the military first, and you have to have like a B in agility and a B in strength, and you can't have any D attributes. So you have to have at least all C's, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you want to be an officer, you have to have education. So you have to have done like some like civilian education stuff first, and then go the other route. Or you did education from it because you start with your childhood first. So you just determine like what your childhood background was, and
Right.
then after you do your childhood background, then you go into like the whole like rolling your attributes and all that stuff. Anyways, I've just found it super interesting. So
I'm not even gonna lie though. I'm interested to see how it's gonna be because it sounds a lot like BattleTech.
yeah.
Or
Well,
if anybody's ever played BattleTech or Mech Warrior, I should say more like Mech Warrior because Mech Warrior is a lot more in-depth character building.
mhm.
So when you actually build your character out, it's a lot like that.
So I didn't know this, but I guess Traveler is actually older than D&D. And they started, I guess, the life path system. So their first game was launched in 1974.
Oh wow.
And so there's you can actually die creating your character in Traveler.
Hmm.
Like before your character is even comes about, you can die. Like so, so anyways,
Wow.
um, so theirs is like crazy detailed. I'm really interested in Traveler. The problem is, and like, which is fine because I know we're gonna have in-person games anyways. But the problem is there's never an opportunity with Traveler to do the Foundry side unless you actually like build it from the ground up or whatever.
Right.
Um, it's extremely like detailed though, and there's a lot of books that go with it. There's even like you have to learn like specific ship physics and stuff and the, like space and all this other stuff, and like it's crazy. So I've been looking into both of them. I almost decided to buy all the Traveler stuff, but I'm waiting because I don't know how much we're gonna play yet. But anyways.
That's fair, dude.
There's only like 14 books, so
14 books at $20 a pop is still a lot of money.
it's better than like 80 something books at $60 a pop or whatever they are through D&D.
That's true. That
Anyways,
that's
I'm interested
that's
in
fair
both
statement.
of them, but so I guess what I was getting at is there's a lot of people that say that they're the ones that created like the life path system, but it's like super hardcore. So it sounds like maybe BattleTech has like a very similar approach. I don't know who makes BattleTech, like what
Well,
company.
well, back in the day, it was FASA, and
Okay.
then FASA got well. Originally, FASA got sued by another company, um, claiming that BattleTech was taking all of its um, work and stuff like that, and claiming
Mm.
copyright. And it was actually about I forget what they call that. Gundam. Yeah, it's Gundam. So it was about Gundam stuff. And so when that happened,
There's a
FASA,
song about that, right?
I think so.
Or was
Maybe
it
I don't.
Gangnam Style or Gangnam
Oh,
Style?
Gangnam Style. Yeah. Uh, um, yeah. Right. Mm,
Squirrel.
yeah. So, anyways, when that happened, um, FASA pretty much dumped it right afterwards.
Mm,
And when they dumped it, it got sold to another company. Well, that company pretty much shut it down for years.
mm.
Um, it wasn't until recently that it got picked back up by Piranha and Piranha Games, and they pretty much have turned it into what it is now. Which
Traveler's owned by a company called Mongoose, I think.
I've heard of
And
Mongoose.
I think they're the original. I think they've been around. So the other thing that people say is that Traveler was the um, inspiration for like Star Wars and Star Trek and like all that stuff because they were the first real like TTRPG that was around that. So um, it's pretty interesting, but it's based in like I think like 5200 or something like that. It's way out in the future.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I was looking into a little bit of the BattleTech stuff, but I guess there's like 3 or 4 different types of BattleTech, and like one of them is the BattleTech something Warriors or something, and that's the one that does the life path. Like
Mech
the
Warrior.
others don't. Yeah, the other ones don't do the life
Not
path or something, or like
not
I don't know.
really.
Yeah.
Um, Not as detailed as that is.
Mm.
You can
Yep.
do it. You can actually take MechWare and BattleTech
Mhm.
and sync them together and build it all out.
The whole reason I went down the rabbit hole of looking at like games that have this life path system is that all of those studies point back to what what helps people in the long run at the table as
Hmm.
far as like the actual therapy side of it or playing the game, and that what actually helps you like go through those 5 stages that I talked about, previously and all that stuff
Yep.
is um the player, what do they call it, not buy-in, but the player, um it's like player freedom or whatever you want to call it. Like it's where like you can, like, you've built this character and like it's so detailed that like you really feel that you're playing the character like once you get into it. So anyways,
Right.
um and on top of that too, all of those games are like everything you do, you're writing the story. It's
Hmm.
not the story is being written before and then you're playing it. Like, so again, that's I can't remember what they call it. It's player something. When you write, like when you're the one that's making the decisions as a player for the game. Um but anyways, so I kind of went down that path, and then I was looking at all these games, and so like BattleTech was one. I think I sent you something on the Google Drive, or whatever, about like what I found on it. But
Hmm.
so BattleTech was one, Traveler was one, Twilight 2000 was one, uh, Cyberpunk Red. It's just not
Cyberpunk
my
is,
like style, I guess, because it's
yep.
more like
It's more steampunk.
yeah, it's steampunk and like anime ish,
Hmm.
and like I don't know, it's just never been my thing, but everybody like points back to it, I guess, like Cyberpunk Red. Who else was there? There was a couple of others, but those were the big, well-known ones that like
Well,
have.
Star Wars does it too. That like Star Wars actually has a TTRPG.
Yeah, somebody was
Um,
saying that the only thing that they liked about Star Wars was the fact that it had a life path system. Like,
mhm.
like they said the rest of the game was junk. I don't know. I've never played it, but
I have. I
yeah.
loved it. Um, there are a couple things that I will say. Like if you want to be a Jedi,
Mm,
it's hard.
yeah.
It's hard, because there's so many things that you could do. And I'm actually thinking about implementing this into our campaign,
Mm,
the one that we're playing tomorrow, where I might actually start creating different deities, um, based around the same concept, but one of them's on the positive side, one of them's on the negative side, and depending on your actions, will depend on your alignment.
yeah.
Because that's one of the things about Star Wars that I absolutely loved was depending on what you do. If you're a Jedi, you like let's say there that you have to go and arrest somebody,
Mhm.
and they start fighting you, and you kill them. That can actually mess with your alignment, and you could actually go to the dark side
Okay.
on all of your actions. So I was thinking about implementing this into our
There's,
campaign.
there's nothing wrong with going to the dark side.
Ah, yeah, I mean, you say that, but then all of a sudden you're a Sith Lord, and you're like, oh shit, but I wanted
It
to be
means
a
you get
good
two lightsabers, right?
guy. I mean, there are a couple Jedi. If you when you look through, like when you read through the actual history of it,
Yeah.
there are Jedi that actually have dual lightsaber
Yeah.
special abilities. And then take for instance Qui-Gon Jinn, like he could actually um, he was like he was Darth Vader level strong.
Mm,
Like if you like when you actually categorize him, he was Darth Vader strong. So the fact that Qui-Gon Jinn got killed off is you're like, wow. But it wasn't even really that he got killed off. He pretty much sacrificed himself. But
yeah.
um, yeah, there's so much history and backstory to all that stuff. Like it's fantastic, fantastic.
Yeah. The The other thing that drew me into to the traveler system is like you can be like some like scientific PhD or whatever, or you can be like a scrounger that like is trying to look for part. Like there's so many different directions you can go with the type of like work or jobs that you do,
Yeah.
but you still get tied into these like groups or teams or whatever. Um, so uh, eh, and I know Twilight is that way too. I don't. I like I said I've never played Star Wars, so I don't know like how in the BattleTech as well. I don't know how the life path system works there. Um, the Twilight 2001, like when I built out a character and he started in the military and he was in combat arms and then he ended up going like heavy arms and then he did like artillery heavy arms. So he's running around with like uh with like anti-tank rockets, right?
Yep.
And then after that he like leaves the military and goes and works for the police department. And then through the police department he ends up working as like a crime scene investigator photojournalist, and then he like goes back and like randomly rolls military again. And when I random rolled the new job, the new one of the new classes that I or new careers that I found was like a combat photojournalist, and it just so happened to roll that as well. So he already had like the experiences, like the crime scene investigation of like the
Right.
journalism, and now he's like a combat like journalist or whatever. But it gives you like extra points and like recon and all this other stuff or whatever. And anyways, so like his background is so crazy, and he was like a country bumpkin or whatever. So his like he grew up on a farm, like so he knows how to farm and stuff too. Like so it's like all over the place,
Yeah.
and so which is fun, right? Because now you've got all these different skills, and so if
Yeah.
everybody does random roles like that, then you have all these people that are in the group that all have these like separate different skill types that can help each other. So,
Right.
but but anyways, uh, yeah. So I've been nerding out on that,
It, dude, it sounds like it. Sounds like
but
a lot of fun.
yeah, trying to get away from all the work stuff because I took on that other role and I'm doing both right now because there's nobody to backfill me yet. So yeah,
I thought they were getting rid of that role though.
they
Essentially.
are. Yeah, well, they are, but they still have to like roll it into like the VP's position or whatever that's going to be taking it on,
Mhm.
and that person has never done that specific work before, so I'm having to put in like how to transition all the work over, and yeah. So, anyways, and then I've already started doing all of the forecasting for like and this is like North American wide forecasting so for this
Nice.
company. So anyways, it's been
Nice.
crazy. But
Dude, it sounds like it.
but
Sounds like you've
anyways,
been living in a hectic life, double life over there.
slightly.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like you got Twilight going on one way, and
So I dropped money on Twilight and I dropped money on a Disney cruise.
that's how you got away with it. All right, that was the
Dropped
here.
money on a Disney cruise
Yeah,
and yeah.
here, baby. I'm gonna take you on a Disney cruise. Don't mind what I'm about to pay for.
That's mainly for the kids, but yeah, I know it we've been talking about going on one for a while. But
Yeah, dude, I was
anyways.
actually look. It's funny that you bring that up though, because I was looking at cruises uh last weekend, I think,
Mm,
and so um for not Caribbean, the Norwegian cruise line. That's what
mhm,
it is. Kids go for free,
mhm,
right? And then it includes like $50 for any of the extra stuff that you want to go do. They
mm,
give you a gift card for that. Then they give you, what was it? Unlimited food, unlimited drinks, um, and it was like a whole list of stuff. Free Wi-Fi, like the whole 9 yards. I was like, dude, this sounds awesome. And then you also get like one night in the the expensive like restaurant that they have in there.
Mm,
But
yeah.
then when you look at Norwegian cruise lines, they have like go-karts on the boat. They
Mm,
have like the big slides and stuff like that. They have golf courses, or for like mini golf, that is.
yeah.
I mean, I was just like, dude, they went all out. And then on top of that, they have casinos in there too.
Mhm.
Now, yeah, I'm telling
Because
you.
once you get you can't start gambling until they get 12 miles out. But once you're out in international waters, then you can do whatever. So
Yep,
that's why like all those cruise ships have the little like center in the middle, or the section in the middle of the ship where it has all of like the
the
slot
shops.
machines and all
Oh
that
yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
poker tables and all that. Yeah. So like, because once you get out past a certain distance, you're in international waters, you can do whatever.
Yep.
But um, yeah, that's yeah, Disney doesn't give you anything for free.
Yeah. No.
It's all paid.
And neither does Caribbean though. Caribbean, you have to pay for everything.
Yeah. The only good thing is they say once you go to Disney, like because their service is so good, like that's what you're paying for.
Right.
Because their service is so good, like the other cruises are gonna feel like you're lacking something, unless you go to like Princess or one of those where you're paying like ridiculous amounts of money, like the specialty cruises.
Right.
Um, because we looked at Viking and Princess and all those, and I think is it Princess? I can't remember. I think it was Princess, but anyways, one of them was like just for two people for a 1 week cruise was like $16,000.
Good Lord.
Um, yeah, so it's
That's
ridiculous.
you better be drinking
But
gold when you're on that
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the whole like relative thing, I guess, right? Like, but
like I don't even care. Like honestly enough, I'm the person that like when I went on the Caribbean cruise a few years ago, you know what I did the whole time? Like we went to Jamaica, we went to uh what's that other Caribbean island that's over there? Um anyways, we went to like three different islands,
mhm.
right? In the Caribbean.
Dominican Republic.
Uh we went we went to the DR, we went to Jamaica, and then there's another one that's a small island, a very small island. Like you can I'm talking about sitting on the top deck and you can see the
Across
entirety of
them. Yeah.
yeah, the entirety of the island. And so we went there. I got off to just look like walk around Jamaica. All I did was I was on the pier and I was like, I've been to Jamaica. I touched the ground. I got back on the ship, went all the way up to the top deck, sat there with my fruity cocktail of sorts, and sat in the hot tub, watched a storm come over, stayed in the hot tub as the storm came over, sipping on this frozen fruity drink, and I'm like, this is the life right here. Like I'm
Nice.
sitting in a hot tub just watching the storm, and I was loving it. So yeah, like, that's my cruise line. That my stories. I didn't do
So,
Jack Dilly squat. I didn't care. I was like, I don't.
Salma
Fuck
doesn't let
everybody.
doesn't like, so she'll let me plan part of the trip
Mhm.
because she let me plan the entirety once of a trip, and we went to the Dominican Republic and we got to see uh, all of their what is that stuff called? Amber. So we went
Mhm.
to like an area where you go underground and you see all the amber that was like trapped there and all that stuff. We went to another place where they make like cigars and chocolates in the same spot or whatever. We
Right.
went to another spot that makes like all the alcohol. Then we went to the top of the mountain and like saw like that big statue thing that was up there, and we rode the tram thing, and then we like went someplace else for a specific type of dinner. And like I hired a guy that was taking us to all these places, so I didn't have to worry about driving.
Right.
And so, anyways, by the time we got done, we got back. She's like, I need a vacation from what we just did." Like,
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. Like, it's a vacation, so like, I wasn't about to like do all this crazy stuff. And then,
yeah,
like, you hear all these people are like, "Oh, I went and swam with the dolphins, and I swam with the stingrays and the turtles," and I'm like, "Good for you, motherfucker!" I stayed on the boat and drank. and watched a storm come over, and I had a grand old time. I relaxed. that that
Yeah.
that was that was what I did. So
Salma would rather just sit by the pool. If we
yeah,
sat by the pool, like I would literally just be like, probably like, I don't know, kicking my legs around and stuff, trying to wait to like to do something. Like,
yeah.
I can't just sit there.
I had a good time just relaxing, and
Yeah,
then but like I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'd much rather just stay on the damn boat rather than get off the boat and go do something. Like, I want to stay on the boat, enjoy food and drinks and like all that good stuff,
yeah,
and then do all the stuff that's on the boat. Because honestly enough, like the cruise, like if you go on a cruise and you go to all these different places, of course you want to get off and go look at them. But there's so much to do on the cruise that you don't even get to do it all. Like
yeah,
you paid for the cruise. The
yeah.
other stuff is
Long,
just a bonus.
long time ago, when I first got out of the military, I did a quadruple back to back on a cruise line and like stayed on it and went to different ports because that's what they like. They were transitioning from. It was the one where it goes from like Florida and they went to all the Caribbean islands and stuff. They came back to Florida and then they went to all the like Cozumel and all that stuff, and they went back to Florida, and then they went through the Panama Canal and they went to Los Angeles. So like I was on it for that whole like process, so I
Uh,
got to travel around on it quite a bit, and it was interesting because some of those places, like especially if I'd already been to some of them before or whatever, I would just stay on the ship, and then like there's nobody on the ship, so you can
right.
do like all those other things without having like the crowds and all that stuff, and like the special restaurants are open still on the ship, and like all that stuff is available. That's normally like slammed with people, but
Right.
so yeah, to your point, sometimes there's a lot of benefit to just staying on the ship too, just depending on what you want to get done.
Oh, Cayman Islands. That's what it was.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at so like I'm not joking when I say that I did this. All right. This is a picture from that I took in 2000. What year was that? 2017. We went. We were at the Cayman Islands,
Hmm.
and I was sitting in the hot tub and took pictures from the hot
That
tub.
storm.
I was like, this is the best. Like, this is the life right here.
It's
Like,
awesome.
yeah. Like, I enjoyed it, and
There's a cruise that does TTRPGs. The
dude.
entire cruise is like one big TTRPG. Like,
Speaking of which, I found out ways that we could actually do things. So I found places to do that do. Hey, we're going like way out. So we're. But anyways, so there are uh, websites though and stuff like that that help you get grants.
Mhm.
Um, so for like the shit, I just dropped my cell phone and everything. So anyways, um, what was I talking? Oh yeah, the grants. Okay, so they have these websites that do the actual grants and stuff like that. And I was looking through them, and dude, we could get so many grants, so
Mhm.
many. It's fantastic. Um, but another thing is that I wanted to do, and and well, there's like four different things I need to talk about all at once. Um, is um, see if we can do like fundraisers for everything that we have,
Mhm.
and that way we can get stuff done that way too. I apparently hit the mouse with my phone, so there we go. Um, so uh, yeah, we can do. There's so much. Like there's so much I could talk about. I don't want to put it all on the live stream because yeah, that's just yeah. But it's not fun. It's not fun
Yeah.
at all. So, anyways, um, back to the D&D stuff. So there was the one thing that I was talking about where I wanted to add in different deities and stuff like that
Mhm.
to kind of it so that way your alignment is not static. It can actually move depending on your actions, and I like that. because you could be saying, "Oh yeah, I'm a good guy," but then next thing you know, like you're off mass murdering people, and your alignment changes, and that's fantastic. It's great. And how does that help? Well, it helps a lot of things, especially with people that are suffering from PTSD, um, where they have to actually think through their actions, and it slows them down instead of just going balls to the wall. It slows them down. It says, "Hey, think about what you're doing before you do it." Um, and so I actually did I looked up different ways to actually implement this stuff. There's a couple other things that I want to do to implement a couple things. Um, but that's one of the big ones that I studied, I guess, this week was that. Um, but then also, Mage sent that. Did you check out that AI thing that Mage sent?
Mm-mm. No, I
Oh,
saw it pop up, but I haven't looked at it yet.
let me tell you, and whoever's watching this, if you watch this now, if you watch this later, it doesn't really matter. Hopefully, if you watch this later, it's already been released or whatever, because I don't know what stage it's in. Anyway, go to sesame.com. I think that's what it was, right? Sesame.
Yeah, I remember Sesame because I saw it and I was like, "Hey,
Uh,
he's gonna send me some big bird shit or
yeah, I
what?"
know. That's what I thought too. I was like, "Ooh, we watch a Big Bird now? What the fuck?" And so, I
I was
really,
expecting it to take me to some like really bad like porn site that I was not expecting to watch. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So sesame.com, all right, and check out their AI system. Like their AI system talks to you just like me and you are talking now. You get
Mhm,
30 minutes to sit there and talk to it. And it'll give you feedback. And it sounds like you are actually talking to somebody. Like it'll
mhm.
say, and like just little things that really make you stop and go, "Am I talking to somebody or am I talking to an AI?" Like it feels that real. And I was actually impressed. I was
I
impressed
haven't
because I
I
really
didn't
thought I was
try the
talking to someone.
Sesame one yet.
Hmm.
I have tried so Grok 3 has like multiple different options you can pick,
Yeah.
and one of them is it's like a rude therapist or something like that, and like she'll curse you out and stuff, and like yeah, like also like you're like holy crap. Like,
That sounds awesome.
um, but yeah, there's some interesting stuff that AI is doing now for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I found a lot of these because well, one, I have to give credit to like my mini war, right? Because like he introduced me to, I didn't know Twilight was a thing. It's been around forever, I guess, but I didn't know
Yeah.
it was a thing. Because my introduction was D&D, like
Yep.
originally,
Same.
um, which I think a lot of people are introduced to D&D just because it's so big, right?
Right.
But once you see that there's these other systems out there, you're like, oh, wait a second, like that sounds interesting. It's so much different, like, and it's
Yep.
built different. Um, so, anyways, so Grok 3 though, like I've been using that to look up the other possible games that are out there. Um,
Mhm.
and it'll actually tell you like based off what you're trying to do and these studies that you told me to like keep in mind, right? Because you can tell them like the psychological studies you want it to reference
Mhm.
and also tell you whether or not those games meet the criteria that are inside of those reference studies. And it'll give you a low, medium, high rating on whether or not those games meet it. And that's where I got the BattleTech one where it says like if it's like I think it was like a high meet or whatever. And so was like Twilight 2000 and so was like Traveler or whatever. And then there were some others that were like uh they were it stated they were good games for like camaraderie, but it was a low meat as far as like the actual like player character build information, I guess.
Mhm.
So anyways, so it would tell you like, yeah, this game system is good, but it doesn't meet like all of the criteria that you're looking for. So
Right.
it's interesting that it was able to like and it pulled all that in like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. So, anyways,
Yeah,
um,
this AI system responded though immediately, like
yeah.
like whenever you even if you pause, it
Mhm.
didn't say anything until you actually finished your statement.
You have to ask it fun jokes like um, things like I just did like an 8 ball. What's gonna happen next? Like, like stupid stuff and see what it responds with. I wonder if it's gonna call 911 for you.
Right.
It's like, well, you're probably gonna stroke out. So these are the nearest like
Hospitals.
firehouses
Yeah.
that are located in your area.
And if you did that much, you probably don't have to worry about your driving at that point. Just hurry up and get there. Jeez.
Uh, you
There
gotta
was
ask
actually
it
a
fun
couple guys
stuff.
in the military though that got in trouble
Mm,
for doing coke and like they went out drinking and got super drunk and somebody had told them like if you do a bump of coke or something like that, you get that your drunkenness goes away
mm,
and stuff like that. Well, we had people that got in trouble for popping hot for cocaine.
sure,
And I'm sitting there going, well, who was the dumbass that told you
because you know
this? Like,
as soon as you go out on any type of leave, especially if like a lot of people are going on leave, as soon as
oh,
you get back, you know everybody's gonna be doing piss tests.
oh yeah. Oh,
Like,
dude, every time. It doesn't matter. And so but it was just one one time I remember like six people
mm.
six people got freaking they popped hot and that was it. That's the end of their military career. It's like,
I remember somebody saying that. So did you guys ever do that? Like, it was provided by the military, but it was very similar. It was like a legalized speed. It was kind of like taking what's that Adderall or whatever. It was
mhm,
similar to that, but it was like 10 times stronger than your normal Adderall. And the idea behind it was like you've been up for 3 days, you still got to get like this, and this done, and so it's supposed to like focus your brain.
mhm,
But the bad part behind it is like it's super super hard on your body because you're pushing your body past it and it's blocking like all of the normal like hallucinations that you would have after like 3 or 4 days of being awake. It
yep,
like blocks all that stuff, but when it goes away, then all that shit hits at once or whatever. And so, anyways, what they were saying was like people were using it, and I know there's a couple times we had to like use some stuff, but people were using it and they would do multiple tours and they would have like exposure to all that stuff. And part of it too was they were using it because um, when we first got there, like the Republican Guard and all that stuff was using like PCP and all this other stuff like to fight against us, and so like they were up all hours of the night, and they're constantly like you know hitting the bases and stuff, and it was anyway. So,
yeah,
but what they said was because they got exposed to that when they came back stateside, not only did they no longer have the adrenaline rush of the combat stuff that they were missing, right? Because that's a whole different topic that I think a lot of people that have never experienced it before, like that, there's a reason that like a lot of guys do like skydiving and mountain biking and like all this other stuff to try to like make up for that little bit of like, even though it's not something you would ever want to experience again,
the
it's
thrill.
that crazy thrill, that adrenaline rush you get out of it, right? And so you're constantly trying to find something to replace that. So, anyways, um, that drug helps with that too when you're over there, right? Because you're constantly in that like fight mode, like
Right.
because you have the fight or flight, right? Like when you hit that adrenaline rush, so you're constantly in the fight mode, and uh, and so anyways, they'll get back stateside, and then they're doing everything they can to like find that, and so then they start going into drugs and like all this other stuff, and so yeah, it's this crazy like nasty
Cycle.
spiral, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but anyways, I remember reading about that they were saying like. Um, there was guys that was using like the trying to use it. Like you remember they used to give us like the antropine and 2-pam chloride, and the antropine was supposed to like keep you alive if like everything goes wrong. Like the whole idea is like, okay, you're gonna jab this in your leg and it's gonna keep you alive in the fight for another 5 minutes or so, but you're
Right.
probably gonna die. Like
Yeah.
because you got exposed to mustard gas or whatever the fuck it was that you got exposed to, and like
Right.
that's the reason you're using it. Um, and so there was guys that were using like atropine to try to like get that like because it's it's fake adrenaline or whatever
Yeah.
so they were trying to use that or whatever to like get that, and they were having obviously like bad medical reactions to it and stuff. But anyways, where was I going with all that? Oh, the discussion you were talking about with using coke and like not
Oh yeah.
getting drunk. So there was a bunch of guys that on one of the bases that went out and they got like wasted and they were using atropine to try to like sober themselves. Yeah. So, anyways,
Wow.
yeah.
I mean, fake adrenaline. Fake adrenaline. I guess it. I don't think it speeds up the metabolism like that, though, does it?
I don't
I,
know. I'm
I don't.
sure they had no idea what they're like. They just thought that it would work. They're like, well,
Right.
if it's gonna get me through this, it should help with this too.
Yeah. Right.
We used to just carry like one of those those core removers for your tire?
Yeah.
Like you take the core out of like the air nozzle or whatever.
Yep.
We would take that out and then call AAA, and
Yeah.
they'd have to like take us home because there
Yep.
was no way like to put air in the tire because the core was missing.
Yeah.
And then we just put the core back in and fill it back up when we got home.
Yeah.
But anyway,
We there was always. See, we used to just get taxis everywhere,
yeah.
and I mean, this is of course like before Uber, because Uber wasn't a thing back then. So
Mm,
we would just get taxis everywhere we went, and then or we'd call somebody on the base and be like, "Hey, we're here. Can you come pick us up?"
yeah.
And I mean, we would just do stupid stuff like that all the time. But
Yeah, because we all had AAA, and so you
yeah,
could use it. You could use it a certain amount of times a month or whatever,
right,
and so everybody would cycle through.
yeah.
And
But of
yeah,
course,
so,
like I wasn't stateside for very long, except for when I go through training or when I
mhm.
was a drill sergeant. When I was a
Yeah,
drill sergeant, oh man, that
we
stuff
uh
we do when I was a drill sergeant. Whew.
we used it at Newport News. I think I've been 86 at every bar in Newport News. So,
That's all
anyways,
we should do. Newport News. That,
that little town, yeah.
yeah.
Anyways,
Um.
the locals don't like us much.
Yeah. I don't. I think that's everywhere now, especially. But yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't realize. So speaking of which, though, since you brought that up, I didn't realize that South Korea was having such problems with us now. All of a
Mm,
sudden, like
yeah.
apparently they're going far left, and I'm like, I remember going over there and everybody loved us.
Yeah.
Like they loved that we were there. Oh, you American? You American? Oh, take a shot. Take a shot. And dude, get free food
Yeah.
and all kinds of good stuff over there. But apparently now they're starting to flip a little bit and say that they don't
Well,
want us there.
we'll see how much they don't want us there when we all leave, and then they get rid of the that zone that's out there.
Yeah, the demilitarized zone.
Yeah,
Yeah, the DMZ's. Let me tell you, the DMZ is something else.
because there's a big, big, big country called China that's right behind North Korea that would love to have South Korea as a
Yeah,
friend. Yeah,
right.
so
But it's and see here's a little fact that a lot of people don't know
mm,
about South Korea and North Korea and in the DMZ. So once a year, every single year, once a year, um, just to get rid of bullets and stuff like that, because they're both writing off that they used X amount of bullets. What they'll do is take turns. When you go to the DMZ, it literally is like a canyon between the two
mm,
of them because of how much fighting and all that bullshit that happened back when. So they will shoot down into dirt, and you'll just see dirt pop, 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 pop. It's both sides doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like they pop shots. A lot of people don't know it happens once a year, every year.
Well, I'm sure they have their own version of the fiscal year and end of September, beginning of October, right? They have to get
Right?
rid of all their money and get their get it
Yeah.
back and all that stuff. I'm sure. Um, North Korea, they just do it so that way they don't get executed for doing nothing.
Right.
But
They pop shots at us. We're going to do it the same thing.
right?
So,
Okay, you fought for a week. You've earned a bowl of rice.
yeah, exactly. Remember to only eat a couple grains at a time, guys.
That's right.
Yeah.
Feed it to the rats so you can eat the rats afterwards.
Oh man. Yeah. So
Just
it's
saying.
just it's crazy though. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, I don't know. They all go through their little "we don't like you" and then we love you and blah blah blah. Like it goes back and forth with all those
Yeah.
places. There's a lot of places that don't like us.
I didn't realize that so many of them didn't like us though until just the other day. Whenever I was watching the news, and I'm like, really? Like I remember they
There's
loved us.
there's
Like,
a period of time where like Japan went through that. Where like they didn't like the Americans being there and stuff, but because for a long time it was like you go there and like you were royalty.
hmm
If you know, like if you were like an American soldier in Japan or whatever, and then um, they had their moments where it's like, yeah, they don't even want you there. So like they tell you at the base like not to leave and like to stay on the
yep.
base and blah blah and all that stuff. Um, but anyways,
And don't get me wrong. Like some of the locals don't like us, and that's okay. Like
mm,
as much as I wanted to say it, it's that they're racist. It's not that they're racist. That has nothing to do with it. It's their nationality. Like they don't think that anybody outside of their nation should be in their nation,
yeah,
and it's yeah, it's not racism by any stretch of the imagination. Um, so there's that, uh, which is cool. I mean, I'm like whatever. Like I had a good time. I
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I
food's good.
like the idea of like just pull away from everything and let people
Yeah,
take care
let
of
them
their
duke
own.
it out. Let
Yeah,
them duke it out.
take care of their own and see what happens.
Yeah,
We'll be all right.
yeah. Fuck around, find out. That's the ultimate game of fuck around, find out. That's what that is.
Right? Yeah,
So,
exactly.
um, yeah,
I don't
I'm
know.
trying not to dip too far into that one right now. I'm trying to stay more of a you know game theory slash talking about that kind of stuff right for the time being.
Yeah,
And once I make the full transition of everything, which is what I'm trying to work on, figure out times and everything like that. Uh,
yeah. When does the doctor cut it off?
shit. Jesus, no, not that kind of transition. The hell?
Uh,
Well, damn. All right. So, Jesus.
oh, that's awesome. Mm.
Oh,
um.
of course, the only
Anyways,
thing I could come up with, the first thing that comes out of my mouth is shit. It's like I don't even know how to respond to that.
well, you said you're going through the transition, so
Yeah, no.
you walked into that one.
I did. I did.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
you that was a big wide open. Yeah.
So yeah,
Uh,
but while we tried to like get everything squared away and transitioned over, and because of course, like I don't know, you guys are gonna watch this now or watch this later, whatever. Somebody's gonna watch it and say, "Well, okay." So VD4GM and is going to get a different time slot where it's just going to be about gaming. And I'm actually thinking about this, doing it this way, just for quickness sake. Um, what I might actually do is do VD4GM and Night's Weekly News together as one big segment, but make like different segments of the actual podcast itself. That's what I'm thinking. I might do it that way, but I don't know yet.
Can we do a Can we do a Wayne's World in and out segment?
Yeah.
Like when we transition? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we can do that. I'm okay with it. So,
Uh,
yeah, dude, Wayne's World. That's a fantastic idea, actually. That's a
now you just
great.
need a gremlin.
Yeah, I know. I need the gremlin with the Twizzler thing in the right up, like where the lights go.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's fantastic.
You have to figure out how to like write like a little skit to transition between the VD4GM and nights. Like,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So,
What are
uh,
you gonna? So what are you doing? Like, what is the nights channel gonna be
Weekly
called?
News.
Nights Weekly News. Okay,
Yep,
got it.
yep. And I might actually, to, it might get changed, honestly. But for right now, what I've come up with is Night's Weekly News.
Okay.
It might get switched over to like Veterans News Network or something like that. I don't know. Something, but it's, we're not going to be left or right. We're going to have perspective on both sides of the aisle. Then there's me that walks the middle because, I'm that person that I'm like, if it's good for the country, it's good. I don't
Yeah.
care. If it's bad for the country, I'm gonna be like, the fuck are you doing? So, anyways, that's my stance. Like, I want to do what's good for the country. Um, but I'm also that VD4GM, of course, has its thing. I know Roll to Hills got its thing, and Roll 4 Hills got its thing. Which, that's all. It's all going to come together. It's all going to come together.
Yeah,
I
I'm
know that.
I'm hoping that I can for the roll for Hills. I haven't put anything out there yet. I'm wondering if because I still like the idea of doing the online gaming and all that stuff. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, and it
I'm
gives us
also
positive competition.
yeah. I'm also wondering though, like, should we purposely give it like time to actually get built out the way we need it to so we can have a physical location and provide the online gaming from the physical location. You know what I mean? Like I don't know yet. So anyways, it's something I've been giving some thought to on like where would we want the physical location? What would that cost look like? Just to throw it out there as like a option.
Hmm.
What what I think we've all been waiting on for Roll 4 Heals is like the whole purpose of Roll 4 Heals is to support the the nonprofit. Um, like however we want to build all that out. So that was kind of like the whole. If we just build Roll for Hills as a company, we don't have anything making us different from like. I mean, the idea behind it, I guess, is good, and like the purpose is good, but our true purpose of giving back to VD4GM and like Roll to Hills and like all that stuff from Roll 4 Hills is
Hmm.
what sets us drastically apart um, from other or like companies that offer similar products. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, anyways, I want that to be like a main sticking point, or I think it's important. I think we've talked about that before, anyways. Like that's a very important part of Roll for Hills, and the whole reason we talked about making it in the first place.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Yeah, there's just a lot to get it all together and figure out like how do they all play together properly, and like do their own perspective, like parts of what we want to get done, and all that stuff. So,
Right.
anyways, so yeah, but
Oh,
why are you out here? What?
well, we could always. Oh, I'll let him handle his business real quick. But what I was gonna say is we can end it now. It's been an hour and almost 15 minutes,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, and I got. I mean, I could of course talk about anything, but um, I was gonna say since it seems like Daddy's gonna have to take care of something real quick.
Oh, she decided not to sleep and to clean her room, and so she wants me to come see her room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what she did today. Yeah, or
Fair
tonight,
enough.
because they got in trouble because I made them popcorn, and I decided to go take a shower while they were watching uh, Frozen, and they
Hmm.
were supposed to eat their popcorn and watch Frozen. But instead, they decided to make a popcorn carpet across the entire living room, and yeah, and walk all over it. And Amal decided that she couldn't walk on it because she was afraid she was going to make it worse, so she just peed herself instead of going to the bathroom. And yeah, so anyways, yeah, very interesting night.
Very
Decision
interesting.
decision making was definitely different tonight.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Oh, the things that kids can come up with. Oh man. All right. Well, yeah. Let's end it now so that way you can handle some business. And um. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, it's days, whatever you want to call yourself. It's 2025. I don't really care, but I'm still going to call you sir or ma'am. So, um. Anyways, you guys have a wonderful night. Thanks for you know coming on and for the limited time that we were here. Um, even I was a little late today, so there's that. Uh, well, what am I saying? A little. I'm always a little late. Like if I was going to my own funeral, I'm gonna be late getting buried. All right, so might as well be prepared for that. Um, but yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys take care. If you need help, get help. Just like Daddy Bro always says, it doesn't make you weak; it actually makes you strong. Um, and we are here for you guys. Like that's what we do. I know that we much rather see you guys come and join us in the chat, and you can tell us all about everything. And we'll try to help you out, talk you through here, or you can email us, message us anywhere. The comment section doesn't matter.
don't
Uh,
mind the graveyard humor though that you might get
yeah,
back.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
just saying.
I mean, yeah. It's Army, man. We have dark sense of humor we're on this side. Okay, so anyways, you guys take care of yourselves. Psych ward, I know he's got something that way.
Nine 988 press one, and then we have to do our like outro, like the.
Oh yeah, yeah. So all right, you guys take care. We love y'all, and we'll see you next week.